on the First Coast. Call me, Travis Cummings, at 461-1800, and I'll make sure your employees are well taken care of.
I-9 Sports, flag football, basketball, soccer, and t-ball. Play year-round with co-ed programs ages 3 to 17. Duval, Clay, and St. John's. Enter promo code 1010XL for $5 off. Check out i9sports.com for all the details.
We've seen it 1,000 times. Insurance companies using the same tired excuses not to pay. They'll say you're really not hurt, or that your injury is from an old accident. That's why it's so important to hire a law firm who has their own medical experts, who know how to fight excuses with facts. When they bring excuses, we bring the truth. And truth is power. Farah and Farah. Here for you, here for good. Jacksonville.
The flagship station of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Are you an electrician looking for better pay and benefits? Miller Electric Company has the industry-leading compensation package. Electricians are eligible for a signing bonus up to $1,000. Now, they're partnering with the Jaguars on their new performance facility, the Miller Electric Center. Miller Electric has opportunities for you to work on some of the most exciting projects right here in Jacksonville. Whether you're experienced or not, visit MillerCareers.com, an equal opportunity employer. That's MillerCareers.com.
Hey folks, Mike Dempsey here from Pella Windows and Doors. Look, it's kind of cooling down right now, and I love opening the windows up a bit this time of year. And if you're looking to upgrade your windows in your home, I want you to visit the Pella showroom on Phillips Highway. Ask about their latest hurricane and impact-resistant windows and doors, rated #1 by Consumer Reports in all 3 main window categories. You want quality, style, and protection? Visit PellaJacks.com and the showroom on Phillips Highway right next to Tesla. That's Pella Windows and Doors.
It's your boy E.T. And when I get triggered, be sure to check out my slightly salty instant reactions about your home team on all social platforms. Brought to you by Brackish, for those that live life slightly salty.
Hi, this is Carrie, the office coordinator at the dental practice of Dr. James J. McCall. Dr. McCall, along with me and my fellow team members, are committed to making your visit to the dentist a pleasant one. From scheduling, filing insurance, or reviewing treatment options, you're always our #1 priority. When we say join our dental family, we believe it in our hearts. If you are looking for a dentist in a warm and relaxed atmosphere, call the dental office of Dr. McCall at 620-9225.
It's pro time, because at Lowe's, it's Provember. Save big with inventory you can count on, like Flex products or DeWalt power tools starting at just $99. Plus, Lowe's MVPs members earn up to 3 times bonus points per dollar on select items. Save all Provember long. Bonus points calculated before taxes and fees after applicable discounts, if any. MVPs Pro Rewards Program. Terms and restrictions apply. See Lowe's.com/L/Pro Loyalty Terms. Subject to change. Prices valid from 10/17/22 to 2/3/23 or until supplies last.
15,000 workers. I'm Brian Rose from Remedy Staffing. We survey 15,000 blue-collar workers each year to better understand what drives quality and dependability in our workforce. The survey shows when looking for a new job, the initial pay rate, job security, and safety while working are the most important factors for hourly workers. If you're an employer and would like to learn more about the voice of the blue-collar worker, please call us at 904-528-1933.
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733. Let's go into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Uncertainty. That is what I feel. That is what I sense today in Duval. And I think you can make the case that that goes around our great planet when you talk about American football. Yeah. College and pro. I mean, what's up? Watered down product. Really not great teams this year on Saturday or on Sunday. I think early on we all wanted to crown Ohio State. I think as of late, Michigan is the better team, and of course they'll square off in a couple of Saturdays. In the NFL, obviously the Lombardi was given to Buffalo in mid-September. They have since lost 3 games. Kansas City is a team that a lot of people want to hang their hat on, but they were pretty average the other day. I mean, they held their own against a Jacksonville club, but Jacksonville, even being down 20-0, some misfortune, some self-inflicted wounds, came back and at least made it a game. You see what happened last night. How does Philadelphia, Monday Night Football, nationally televised game, everything set for them to go 9-0, and Taylor Heineke, Washington, a winner on the road. Not only did they win on the road, they won by 11 on the road. So, where does that leave us? This isn't necessarily, oh, by the way, a bad thing. It makes for incredibly competitive football week in, week out. It keeps most of the teams and the fan bases enthused, certainly in the world of the National Football League, because as we know, it's a much better, as far as the structure, than college football. College football will always be filled with controversy. And again, if there was ever a year that we could put together a 12-team college football playoff, this would be it. And I really believe we would have some enormous first-round upsets. I just kind of feel that way. It happens each and every season that way in the NFL, where we talk about, home field advantage. And during wild card weekend, I mean, how often is it that road teams go into home territory and knock off the home team? We see it year after year. It's been over 50% as of late, and that playoff structure, again, has changed. For those of you who forget, 14 teams will make it into the playoffs this year. For a second consecutive season, we'll only have one team get a bye in the AFC. We'll only have one team get a bye in the NFC. Not sure if I'm a huge fan of that, but again, that's giving you 2 extra playoff football games, right? So for the consumer, for the fan, what's there not to love? Okay? You get 2 extra playoff football games. And for about everyone, that certainly is a good thing. So, it's good to have you with us Tuesday night. Rick Ballou and JJ. But I just, I was driving around today, took a long walk down Michael's Beach today, really kind of sorting out the world, sorting out my thoughts, diving deep, thinking about what's right, thinking about what's wrong, how can I get better doing this? Self-evaluation, I think, is key for us all. You know that you need to do this, but you're being a realist and you're like, you're never going to do that. I mean, you can waste time actually considering it, telling you how much better it would make you feel, perhaps how much better it would make you look, but you're not going to do it. I mean, come on. Let's put things all in reason here.
I'm not going to learn Spanish.
No.
I tell myself every year.
No. You're 55. You're not going to now. You're not going to teach this old dog any new tricks, but, I want to extend the journey. I'm very lucky. I talk sports a couple hours a day. I want to extend this bad boy. So I'm just kind of walking around and evaluating everything. And then all of a sudden, like my thoughts so often do, they go directly back to the world of sports. Okay, I can't ever leave it for any great deal of time, period of time. I mean, what they say, a man thinks about sex, what is it, once every 2.5 seconds?
Oh, I thought it was 7 minutes.
Yeah. I'm kidding.
You're a lot more excited than I am.
But, no matter where I am, something comes up. Something rings the bell. Sports related. I mean, last night I was thinking about the Sedines, and congratulations to them after getting elected into actually it was announced last night that they are going in to the National Hockey League Hall of Fame. What an incredible announcement. And the fact that you're going to put you're going to put them both in at the same time, the twins in at the same time. And, most of our listeners have no idea what I'm talking about because Henrique and Daniel Sedin, became Hall of Famers by playing in Vancouver but they were just phenomenal. I mean, those guys literally could have been out there. It almost feels like blindfolded, and they knew exactly where each other was. You know, we talked about yesterday, you look at JaMychal Hasty on second down, he didn't understand that he needed to turn his head around and look for the pass from Trevor Lawrence probably, a quarter of a second, if not to a half second faster. That is called understanding where you're supposed to be, knowing the relationship that you have with your teammate. And Henrique and Daniel Sedin, what they were able to do in Vancouver speaks for itself. And then you got Robert Luongo, well-traveled as a netminder, including his stay in Vancouver. Obviously, remember him in Landover, Maryland. And the Ottawa Senators say hello to Daniel Alfredson. So not exactly a long list of well-known teams, players who represented teams in the original six or what have you. It was kind of in the corners of our globe or the National Hockey League landscape, coming out of Vancouver, coming out of Ottawa. But for the most part, these guys really well-deserving, and that snuck in on this Monday night. So back to, anyway, what I was thinking about a little bit earlier with the NFL, and, you look at the betting odds, and it's more open this year than it has been in years past. It still is top-heavy with, the 4 or 5 obvious teams, but that's kind of my go-to to get things rolling tonight. How obvious are these teams? How obvious is Green Bay? All right. I had them going to the Super Bowl. How obvious is Tampa Bay? I had them going to the NFC Championship game. Now, what? Tampa had lost 4 in a row. They've won 2 straight. Green Bay had lost, I believe it was 5 in a row, and they finally got off the schneid. And, everyone here listening, it's tough to believe that the Week 11 in the NFL actually begins in less than 48 hours. That is amazing to me. And for Tennessee, who obviously got a win, they sit 2.5 games above Jacksonville. The Jaguars have the bye. If Tennessee loses to Green Bay, then Jacksonville picks up a half game. Tennessee will fall to 6-4. The Jaguars will sit at 3-7. So there'll be 3 full games out with 7 to play. It feels pretty close to impossible until you realize that 7 of the games that remain, 2 of the 7 are when these two teams face one another. And right now, Tennessee, no blemishes within the division. Jacksonville's only gone 1-2. Remember that whole playoff format when you start weeding through it on how to get the last teams who get in. Tennessee, undefeated right now in the division, as the divisional record becomes one of the biggest components if, in fact, your head-to-head record, or if your regular record is the same, you look at head-to-head and you look at the divisional opponent. Overall, or divisional record, Tennessee's -2 in the point differential. Jacksonville remains in the green category at +11. So there's 13 points difference between the Jaguars and the Titans right now. I do believe that most think that Tennessee is a far better team, and it is reflective in the schedule. But again, that'll be important to see what does happen coming up on Thursday night. Jacksonville could pick up a half game. Be nice to be 3 out with 7 to play. Still going to be a very difficult scenario for Jacksonville, but crazier things have happened. So, who are the 2 best teams right now in the NFL? You can tell me Philadelphia and Kansas City?
No. I would say the Bills in Kansas City.
Really?
I would say San Francisco is better than Philly.
San Francisco, to me, is the great unknown. They're 5-4. They're so good on defense, and they just find ways to win now on offense. You can absolutely make a case for San Francisco. You know what else you can make a case for right now is Minnesota.
Absolutely.
I don't think you can make a case for either team in the AFC or NFC South. I feel like those 8 teams are done. Okay? Now, Tennessee, we know what they did a year ago, and Mike Vrabel is one of the very good coaches. I don't trust the quarterback play right now in Tennessee enough to win January football games. In the NFC South, all right, you can really make the case about Brady and you can make the case about some of those players coming alive. This isn't classic Tampa Bay, however, in the ditch. They're not nearly as good as they have been with their offensive line play. They're not nearly as good as they have been with their defensive line play. So, if I had to pick, I think Tampa Bay wins the NFC South over Atlanta, New Orleans, and Carolina, but I don't see Tampa Bay moving through the NFC playoffs this year. I don't see it. Can Green Bay bounce back? What about the NFC East? This division is sick. It really is. I mean, this is the story of the year in pro football. Looking at the NFC East and the AFC West, considering those are the two divisions that Jacksonville did draw, I thought maybe 2-2 with the NFC East. Could you possibly somehow leak out a 3-1 with the NFC East? But I was thinking, hey, plan on a 0-4
right
against the UFC, against the AFC West. You same lines with you?
Yeah, absolutely.
I was thinking 0-4.
I thought maybe they could steal one at home against Vegas or something.
So they go 2-2 out west. All right, they win a game out west. They win a game here against Vegas. They lose in London. They lose last week at Kansas City. The AFC West is done. Jacksonville goes 2-2. I'll be the first right now to raise my hand and say, you name the month during the offseason, including August. If you would have told me Jacksonville 2-2 against the AFC West, I would have taken that in a heartbeat.
You'd be like, are those their only 2 losses?
Let's look back. We have our preseason rankings. We both had them losing at LAC. Of course, they won. Let's move. Denver, we both had them losing. They lost. Las Vegas, we both had them losing. They won. And that leaves us
Kansas City
with Kansas City, who we both had them losing to. So overall, that's pretty interesting. We had them going 0-4 is what I had, and you had them 0-4. They turned around and with this bad boy, ended up going 2-2. The opposite of it, if we look at things back in the preseason, you and I had them winning on opening day in D.C.
Absolutely.
They lost. We both had them losing at Philly. And we all know the story there. You're up 14-0, a 4th and 2 from the 34, and you have a fumble. They're first of 5 on the day. We both had them winning here against New York. Of course, they lost that one. And you have one late in the year. It's their, second to final remaining home game. That'll be against Dallas. That is still a month away. That is a mid-December game. But right now, this football team is 1-2 against the NFC East, and I had them going 2-2 in that division.
And I don't see them beating the Cowboys. I know it's a long ways away, but I think, 1-3 with a win over, who did they beat in the division?
Who's that?
In the NFC East, the Jags.
Jaguars beat, they haven't beaten anyone.
Okay.
Yeah, they're 0-3. Yeah. They've lost to D.C.,
Philly,
so they'll be
0-4.
And New York. Yeah.
And we all thought that was going to be like the worst division in football.
Right. But my point is, I thought they were going to go 2-2 in the NFC East and 0-4 in the AFC West. They go 2-2 in the AFC West and have a chance to go 0-4 in the NFC East.
That's this whole league. And look at the AFC East, too. Like another division we all thought was going to be crap. And I still don't believe any of the teams in it besides the Bills are going to go very far in the playoffs, but they all have winning records.
And you have to make something out of the Jets winning 2 weeks ago over the Bills. And it really felt like the Patriots, it took a long time for them to get some things sorted out. They had the quarterback controversy. New England's plus 37. Look at that division.
Yeah, that's wild.
That division is so backwards because, Buffalo plus 99 is actually tied for second place with New York. But you've got New England at plus 37. Then you go to New York plus 20 and Miami plus 11. Yet it's New England, the bottom feeder, at 5-4. Buffalo and New York both 6-3. I still am trying to honestly figure out the Miami Dolphins. If you were to, you always read about pretenders, contenders. Is Miami a legitimate AFC contender? Were they able to turn that thing around that fast in one season? I mean, it feels like all of the recognition, has gone to Buffalo and what they've been able to do in the last couple of seasons. All of a sudden, Miami, and there's still a lot of head-to-head there. You look at the division there. Buffalo's 0-2.
Yeah, they lost to Miami and they lost to the Jets, right?
That
Miami game was crazy, though. They had like 500. They had 1,000 plays. It was such an anomaly. But, yeah, they haven't looked too hot as of late. They're still right now, I just looked it up. They are Super Bowl favorites still. Plus 380, Chiefs right behind them 490, and the Eagles plus 600.
It looks like Buffalo's non-AFC East schedule is very, very easy. Okay, home with Cleveland, at Detroit. Yes, I'm aware of what Detroit did last weekend. And then at Chicago. Okay, mixed in between those three, however, is a trip to New England, home with New York, and home with Miami. I'm sure Miami, they would much rather have that game in South Florida. We know that Eastern teams typically struggle way down in the Deep South, and that has been the norm forever in the East. But anyway, the point, and the reason why I raise this is, it's so healthy for football. It really is. I mean, I got college hoops on right now. I'm watching Kentucky and Michigan State. We have the NBA. We have the NHL. We just finished a Major League Baseball season. They play so many games that you can lose, and you can lose 2 in a row and 3 in a row, and you can lose 8 of 10, and it hurts, but it doesn't rip you apart. And then you look at the playoff structure and the way that schedule went this year of Major League Baseball. It left people with a tremendous amount of disappointment. And are they going to have to rework that schedule? For the most part, I think the NBA and the NHL playoffs are pretty good, but it feels like a loss in the NFL really makes you step back a little bit. The NFL is the one league where the good teams are supposed to win on Sunday, whereas, I mean, you can line up the Miami Marlins against the Los Angeles Dodgers, and the Dodgers can be a 300-1 favorite, yet Miami will all of a sudden wake up one night with the bats and beat you 9-2. That happens in baseball. And that'll happen in basketball. That'll happen in the NHL. That's not supposed to happen in the NFL. The really good teams are supposed to win. And we're not seeing that this year. We only had 2 spreads out of the 14 games last week that were 7 points or more. We only had 2 road favorites in Week 10 in 14 games in the NFL. 2 of them. Amazing. That's how much they're telling us that home field is worth, yet you get to the playoffs, and again, you get to wild card weekend. Just look at it. Track history. Look at the road team success during the first weekend of the NHL playoff, of the National Football League playoffs the last several years. It'll blow your mind. All right, so that's that. Let's get things started. You want to comment on that and whether or not you like what's going on? I mean, it's so easy now where I used to say, and I said it many times, I said, give me Clemson, give me Ohio State, give me Alabama, give me Georgia. I'll give you the field. I bet I said that 25 times during the offseason. I don't think you can do that in the NFL. If I dropped $10K on the table and said pick 2 teams, but I get the other 30, I think I'd choose the other 30. In college football, for what it's worth, I still believe the 4 that I mentioned. Even though Bama's out of it, Clemson's going to need a little bit of luck now. Still believe in Georgia, still believe in Ohio State. Hey, they could both lose. But odds-wise, I'm going to stay with those 4. And that was, I've been saying that since March. I've been saying that since April. In the NFL, pick 2 out of the 32? I think there's a Cincinnati Bengals hidden in here just like a year ago. Who is that team? So let's have some fun tonight. We'll get into it that way. 641-1010. Always the best way to get in. That includes on our text line at 641-1010. You know what we do here on Tuesday nights. We grab your phone calls. Jaguar fans, college football fans, your opportunity to get everything off your chest. Again, the number is 641-1010. Are we on YouTube tonight, JJ?
We are back on YouTube. All you have to do is search 1010XL in the YouTube search bar. You will find us. We are the first video. We have a little live red icon. Give us a click and give us a watch.
All right, it's good to have you with us. He is JJ. I am Rick Ballou. This is Into the Night.
He's got 55 reasons to listen to Jaguars Today every Friday.
It's always been us versus them.
Tom McManus.
I want that played at my funeral.
Brought to you by Renewal by Anderson. A better way to a better window on 1010XL.
Are you sick and tired of living with constant pain in your knees and back? You know, joint pain doesn't just keep you from doing things that you love. It affects your job, relationships, even simple things like getting dressed. Leon Searcy here. It's time to call QC Kinetics. QC Kinetics uses advanced regenerative medicine to restore and repair damaged tissues, giving you new life. Hips, shoulders, elbows. They can all be treated with natural biologics from your own body. Powerful healing agents, highly concentrated. If you're tired of steroid shots that don't work, or if you're trying to avoid surgery, call QC Kinetics now to schedule your free consultation. Learn about these exciting new cutting-edge treatments for pain caused by arthritis or injury. No drugs, no pain meds, no downtime. This is an all-natural treatment that can get you lasting relief. People here are raving about the results. Call now. Appointments are available for this coming week. Call QC Kinetics 904-274-5522. Or locations in Mandarin and Ponte Vedra 904-274-5522.
Expert Automotive, Jacksonville's only automotive repair shop, where every car we work on gets a lifetime repair warranty. Never pay for service again once it's fixed. Winter travel is around the corner, and now is the time to get your winterization. Do you still have AC issues? Freon prices are falling, and we can save you money. At Expert Automotive, we service all makes and models. Call 374-3373 today to schedule your appointment. Expert Automotive. We never sell greed, only what you need.
I'm Jeff McCall for Trustline Mortgage, along with my business partners Alan Tyre, Bill Pappas, and Ken Rimley, have been in business for 32 years. We've seen some incredible mortgage markets. Many of our clients took advantage of these markets to refinance their properties. They lowered their payments, took cash out for college tuition, did renovations, shortened their terms, got rid of their mortgage insurance, even consolidated their debts into one easy small payment. Well, that opportunity is here again right now for you. These rates are extremely low. However, the market is starting to move in a different direction. Inflation, as you know, is already here. Look at the cost of gas, milk, lumber. Don't miss out because you put it off and didn't call. No one wants to hear years from now, I shoulda, I coulda, I woulda. Be a person that gets things done. Call Trustline Mortgage now at 381-LOAN. I'm serious. Call 381-LOAN now while it's fresh on your mind, or visit our website at trustlinemortgage.com. Trust your instincts and follow the line to Trustline Mortgage.
Certain restrictions apply. See office for details. Trustline is an equal housing lender. NMLS number 331480.
Gets hot for playmakers and newsmakers on the Roof It Right Hot Seat. Roof It Right Hot Seat on 1010XL. Listen to Mike and Tony every day for the latest scoops from Jacksonville and beyond. Roof It Right so you can sleep at night.
Concrete floors don't have to be ugly and hard to clean. Whether it's a garage with cracks, tire marks, and failed epoxy, or any concrete surface that isn't beautiful and maintenance-free, Shark Coatings will transform it. Our coating and warranty are stronger, more durable, and longer lasting than any other on the market. And because Shark Coatings is 100% UV stable for life, it's perfect for any concrete surface outside as well. Shark Coatings will let you reclaim those wasted hours spent pressure washing your driveway, patios, and walkways. Hit us up on social media or call 904-519-5055 to set up your free estimate today.
Pest control here in Florida can be quite the pain, but not if you have the right company. Frank Frangie here for Orange Environmental Services, Jacksonville's highest quality pest control for over 45 years. I've trusted Orange Environmental to take care of our home's pest control needs for years. If you have residential or commercial lawn care or pest control needs, call Orange Environmental today at 272-3284. Orange Environmental, giving Northeast Florida peace of mind from bug problems since 1972. And they can take care of your mosquito and termite issues as well. Orange Environmental, 272-3284.
Florida Gators football on 1010XL is brought to you by Renewal by Anderson Windows and Doors, T-Mobile, and Hannachar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
Run or walk at Mackenzie's Run, Saturday, November 19th to create great futures. Join Boys and Girls Clubs of Northeast Florida for a 5K and 1 mile fun run through the beautiful stadium course at TPC Sawgrass. Register at mackenziesrun.org.
I'll second guest dinners with friends because they can be interrupted by diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or oily stools. It turns out I have EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, which means I'm missing the enzymes needed to digest food. My doctor prescribed Creon, pancrelipase, an oral prescription medication that replaces pancreatic digestive enzymes. Creon treats EPI due to cystic fibrosis, chronic pancreatitis, pancreatectomy, or other conditions.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall, if you're allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor and always with food. Do not chew capsules, as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon.
Creon is the #1 prescribed EPI treatment. Ask your doctor about Creon for EPI and visit creoninfo.com or call 800-633-9110 to learn more. That's CREONinfo.com.
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, another big miss tonight for college football. They can't get anything right. They're going to release the latest edition of the poll after this matchup between Kentucky and Michigan State. I got to imagine Hoop fans everywhere glued to the seat. Mid-November, college basketball. Way too early for me.
You know what? It shows you what a forced college football is, that they're like, hey, in order for us to get anyone to watch college basketball right now, we need to show our crappy made-up football playoff announcement after this, so people will have to watch our basketball game in the lead-up to this. Like people, they expect people to sit there and watch a basketball game just waiting on an announcement.
They got to check their phones, bro.
Exactly. I would love to see what the ratings to these Tuesday night shows are. They can't be good.
Yeah, I'm not going to pound college basketball. I totally get into it, but it's off the radar right now. It's November 15th. It just doesn't matter at this point. And this is another miss by college football. You want this out sooner than later. I can't believe that ratings-wise there's going to be a spike tonight at 9:15, whatever it is, because people are like, oh, honey, is the kid in bed? I've got to go watch the latest installment of the college football playoff rankings. Most have projected it.
Make sure you have the popcorn ready.
Right. I mean, the stuff is basically out. You can figure out, for the most part, what is happening. And there were some changes this week. I'll give you that. I mean, particularly within the Pac-12. All right, you had some significant losses there that what I honestly believe happened is knocked teams who had, somewhat of a long shot to get in. They now have officially been knocked out. I mean, Mississippi is now knocked out. That's not exactly out west, but losing to Alabama, despite all the controversy, despite all the non-calls with the late hits, Alabama's going to get calls. You know that. I know that. It didn't always work that way. Look at the calls last night that Philadelphia didn't get. How about that face mask that Philly didn't get last night at home? Unbelievable. But, you also had UCLA lose. You had Oregon lose. So there will be a little bit of turnaround there with the Pac-12, but it's really not going to have much bearing on the top four teams. Have to believe that is going to be the exact same way it was a week ago. Let me pull it up real quick here just to be sure. As far as the overall college football rankings, last week it was Georgia, Ohio State, Michigan, and TCU. That's going to stay the same. Tennessee won. That's going to stay the same. Oregon loses. All right, so there's a little movement there. 6 is gone. Number 9, Alabama, does knock off a ranked team in Mississippi, which was 11. So I can understand the intrigue there. Some folks may be, Alabama only dropped 3 spots after losing to LSU. I wonder how many spots they're going to move up despite the fact that they have 2 losses since they knocked off the 11th ranked team. And we know one team ahead of them will drop. That is Oregon, who falls to 8-2. That's basically it. UCLA at 12 will fall. Everything else is going to be around the same. I don't see any major, developments. Do you? Anything, any team coming from down below that is going to make a huge run here?
No, but I'm interested to see where FSU is. Just because they were 20 last week? 22? Or were they not even in that poll?
No, they were in it.
Okay. Because I think they're a top 15 team. And I think if they beat Florida pretty decisively.
They were 23 last week.
I think they could be in the top 10 in a couple weeks.
Yep. They were 23 last week. So, okay. I 23 in the college football playoff rankings. I want to say they came in at maybe 20 in the polls this week. Let's look at the Associated Press poll. Florida State comes in at number 20. All right, that's not bad. I'll give you that. If you're a Knoll fan, you're a 24-point favorite against Louisiana at noon on Saturday. You win that game convincingly, and you may move up a few more spots depending on what happens with teams in front of you. Obviously, the big one is Florida. If you're able to get that, then you go 9-3. Florida State could find themselves, somewhere around 14, maybe 13 before a bowl game.
Depending on other teams in front of you falling off.
Sure. And you win a bowl game, depending on who you play. And
you have a 10-win season.
You have a 10-win season. You could end up possibly finishing in the top 10. Obviously, you need a lot of things in front of you to happen. But if you look at the teams in front of them, they all got heavies. And many have 2 heavies. Like, for instance, UCLA is USC this week. If USC beats UCLA, they're gone.
Or vice versa.
Yeah, and if USC knocks off Notre Dame 2 spots ahead of Florida State at 18, Notre Dame's gone. Kansas State, 1 ahead of them, 7-3 right now. Let's see who they have left on the schedule. They have at West Virginia this weekend, who, I watched the game against Oklahoma. They actually played pretty well. They fired their athletic director yesterday in Kansas. Yeah, you kind of get the sense here Kansas State is going to be able to run off the remainder of the schedule. Although going into Morgantown is never easy.
No.
It's not.
Oregon and Utah play this weekend as well.
Oh, yeah? Yeah.
Somebody's got to go there.
Mm-hmm.
God, I wish that wasn't a 10:30 start.
You got North Carolina and North Carolina State, I know is coming up. North Carolina has Tech this weekend. They go to NC State next weekend, and then they take on Clemson, which I guess they're projecting as the AFC Championship game, right? It's got to be.
Yes, top 2 teams.
Absolutely.
Or I can't even think of who's in second place behind North Carolina.
It would have to be Pitt, right?
Yeah, okay.
Actually, it's Duke.
Jesus.
Duke's 4-2 and Pitt's 3-3.
It's so embarrassing.
It really is. It's such a down conference. I mean, you got 2 teams in the top 13 with Clemson and North Carolina, but you have Florida State now that snuck into the top 25. And, earlier this year, Syracuse was in the top 25. Wake Forest was in the top 25. North Carolina State was in the top 25. They're all gone now. Virginia 1-6. I watched some of that today at Virginia. Just a heartbreaking story. Just absolutely. I don't even know how those kids can go out and play, and they have a game Saturday against Coastal.
That? I just assumed the rest of the season was a wrap.
I don't think so.
Wow.
There was talk today with Tony Elliott, who I met for the first time in July at the Atlantic Coast Conference football meetings. He took over as the head coach of Virginia, but he was the former offensive coordinator for, Travis Etienne and Trevor Lawrence at Clemson. And just about all of my conversation was about those 2. With apologies to him and the Virginia football team, I wanted a little bit more insight on, those two football players here in Jacksonville and Tony Elliott provided that, but I can't imagine what it's like to turn around and try to play football under those set of circumstances. I did see today, too, that a fourth member of the team is struggling. He's in intensive care. So I wasn't even aware of that when I read some of the accounts that came down yesterday.
They always say, like, well, like this will get their mind off that. Like, they would want to play. In this situation, I don't know, man. With them all being on the team.
Everyone grieves differently. I'm
exactly.
Sure,
who am I to say? But
yeah, to me the best way to go about it would be to take a team vote.
Absolutely.
I believe that there are people in that locker room that absolutely want to go out and play, and they probably feel like they got a real good chance of beating Coastal Carolina too. So put some smile on some faces, even if it's for a couple of hours. I'm sure there's others that are like, screw that. I don't want to go to class. I don't want to practice. Let me be off on my own for a little bit here and try to make some sense. Well, you can't make any sense out of it, but just try to find my way to get through the shock of it all. So, yeah, that is really, really bizarre. I wonder if I hate to even do this. Let's see. No, they didn't even take. Wow. Unbelievable. Excuse me. Coastal Carolina is actually very good. Remember the run they went on a year ago? They're 9-1.
Oh, yeah, I forgot.
They're 9-1. And I just I hate to say it this way, but I checked the money. There's a lot of money rolling in now on Coastal Carolina.
Yeah, I could believe that.
Coastal Carolina went 11-2 last year. They were 11-2. They lost to Appalachian State and they lost to Georgia State. But so far this year, they're 9-1. Their only loss was Old Dominion. They just knocked off App State. They knocked off Marshall. And I've watched Marshall play a little bit this year because I'm really intrigued with a former Florida State 5-star back who transferred there by the name of Kalen LeBourne. He's well over 1,200 yards for the season. He's been a stud. 253 carries, 1,253 yards, 14 touchdowns on the ground. Man, you look at his numbers. He played 2018 and 19 at Florida State. Didn't get a carry in 18. Had 63 carries for 297 yards and 4 touchdowns in 2019. Was out of college football in the years 2020 and 2021. Back with Marshall. Got a chance to get drafted. Got a chance to go and play in the NFL. All right, a couple of other games that could really move the college football needle, if you will, a little bit.
Quickly, I do have an update on that kid who was in the hospital.
Yeah, what's up?
The Virginia player. Running back Mike Hollins, out of his second surgery and is, quote, doing well, his family lawyers tell Sports Illustrated. He's also been removed from the ventilator, so that's good news.
Very good news. Already has had 2 surgeries. Wow. Since the shooting yesterday. Let's see some other games this weekend. Not a ton here. This Kansas State at West Virginia matchup, by the way. Kansas State favored by 7 points on the road. BC, what a weird team they are. BC got blown out by. Actually, they lost to UConn. They lost to Connecticut,
who is bowl eligible,
right? And then they got lit up by Duke, and then they turn around and go into Raleigh.
That was like the surprise of the weekend.
And knock off North Carolina State. Well, all of a sudden they go to Notre Dame this weekend. I still can't understand how that Notre Dame team lost to Stanford and Marshall. I just talked about Kalen LeBourne. He ran for like 150.
And then basically
at Notre Dame.
Shuts out Clemson, who Clemson's offense is terrible, but there's levels to this. Stanford is not on that level.
Nope. Georgia, tough loss to Vandy. Of course, Vandy has Florida. Georgia goes into Lexington. That's a 3:30 kick. They're a 3-touchdown plus favorite.
And the fact that Kentucky's still ranked just shows SEC bias. Like, there's no reason 6-4 Kentucky should be ranked number 24.
I'd agree with that.
They just lost to Vanderbilt.
I'd agree. I'm looking for an upset here. Number 2, Ohio State at Maryland. No. How about Miami going to Clemson? 19 points.
I won't be watching.
Well, you'll be in
I'll
Boston,
be on vacation
right?
on purposely not close to a television at 3:30.
You know what?
Probably the first big time, I guess, in quotes, big time Miami game I've missed in years, and I'm happily doing it.
This is a true story, okay? This was probably 4 years ago, maybe 5 years ago. I don't know. But when you travel with the Jaguars and they play the Patriots, you don't stay in Boston. You stay in Providence, Rhode Island.
Okay.
It's faster to
Gillette?
where Gillette actually is closer to the border of Rhode Island than it is dealing with the city of Boston. We still flew in the Logan, but we took buses to Providence. So my mom and dad met me out there, and my sister and her husband and the kids, and we went on Federal Road or Federal Hill, I think it's called. It's it used to be an old mafia run
Federal Street,
run by the Angiulios. Okay, not part of the 5 families out of New York. Obviously, didn't rub noses with the Winter Hill Gang or Whitey Bulge out of Boston, but the Angiulios were huge in Providence. They were also big in the north end of Boston, which I recommend you go to. Although I don't want to be the one who says, "Oh my God, you're going to Boston! you have to do this." No, I'll just tell you, if you want good Italian, you go to Boston's North End.
Perfect.
And it's not that big of a neighborhood, but you're going to find some of the most incredible
Little Italy. I'm looking at it right now.
pizza. Well, Little Italy's New York.
Well, they have a Little Italy. Boston's Little Italy.
North End.
Yes.
Yeah, the North End.
A maze of narrow streets with some of the city's oldest buildings.
Right. So, all right. So we're in this bar in Providence, restaurant bar, on that street. What's it called? Federal Hill? Federal
Street.
Yeah. Okay. And Florida's playing Tennessee. I swear to you, if I remember correctly, they had like 8 TVs in the place. And I couldn't get one on Florida, Tennessee. You know why? They had Notre Dame, the University of Connecticut, on every single TV. Okay? That's how bad college football is in that part of the country. They do not care.
Yeah.
They don't care. You got a little bit of Notre Dame. You got a tiny bit of BC. You got a little bit of like Penn State, a little bit of Michigan. But that's it, brother.
Mm-hmm.
There's no ACC love there. There, none of that.
That's why I think it's so funny when they would always say, like, well, the Big Ten has Rutgers now, so they have the New York market. It's like, dude, they don't give a damn about that. Or the ACC.
Nope.
Now you got the Boston market.
Boston does not care.
Exactly.
I was in high school when Flutie won the Heisman, and that was page 7, page 8 of the news.
Wow.
If you during winter meetings with the Red Sox and the Bruins going and the Celtics going and the Patriots play, I mean, it doesn't even compare. And there are a few places like that. Chicago's like that. Now, it's bigger brand football in the Midwest where you have Ohio State, you have Notre Dame.
Nebraska.
Yeah, you have, obviously, Michigan. I remember my first trip ever to Chicago in 98 when the Jaguars had that great goal line stand. Our friend Greg Huntington was on the Bears. That was my second time in Chicago. My first time in Chicago was when I went over to South Bend for the game of the century, Florida State, Notre Dame. But this was in 98. It was one of the hottest days ever. And I remember being with Alex Lamb, Dave's son. And Notre Dame knocked off Michigan that year. They played like on the final day of August or something. It was a kickoff classic or whatever. And the city of Chicago literally was picked up and moved 180 degrees. I had never seen anything like that before in a pro city, in a major city. I've seen tons of that on campus.
Of course.
You name the campus, right outside of the cathedral, the stadium. I've seen that many, many times, but never seen it downtown in a city the way I did that day in Chicago when Notre Dame knocked off Michigan. All right, need to take a break, overshot the runway. Want to respond to that? Love to hear from you. 641-1010, best way to get a hold of us. Jaguar fans, where you at? This is your night, your phone call. 641-1010, best way to get a hold of us as we go into the night right here on this Tuesday.
The guy you don't want to be busy during the game doesn't wear a helmet.
The medical staff coming out. Listen for the personal injury attorneys Farah and Farah Injury Update on 1010XL.
I might need some Advil after that.
Protecting you and your family since 1979.
Jacksonville.
Did you know the average water heater will last anywhere between 8 to 12 years? And if it's not properly maintained, it could fail even sooner. Mia here. Winter is coming, and you don't want to be stuck without your water heater this holiday season. So, give my friends at Duck Duck Rooter a call and let them replace your older model with a new, more energy-efficient water heater. Schedule your service today so you don't have to worry this holiday season. 904-862-6769 or online at duckduckrooter.com.
Exit is now United Real Estate Gallery. Same leadership, new name. Expect the same great services for buyers and sellers. How about this? 100% compensation plans available for real estate agents. You deserve more. Find your freedom with United. Exit is now United Real Estate Gallery. Pretty incredible. Join UnitedGallery.com to learn more about a career in real estate.
Men, if you're struggling with erectile dysfunction or PE and frustrated taking pills that don't work, Prime Men's Medical Center offers breakthrough medical treatments that effectively treat your problem. 98% of patients experience immediate results during their first office visit. And for a limited time, your initial consultation and first treatment are completely free. Listen to a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Rubinsky. The physicians at Prime Men's Medical Center offer the most advanced treatments that eliminate ED and PE. Now men are lasting 30, 60, 90 minutes or longer, regardless of age or medical history.
Guys, to eliminate your frustration in the bedroom, call Prime Men's Medical Center now to take advantage of this exclusive limited-time offer. Your initial consultation and first treatment are totally free, and you'll see instant results right in the office. Call now, 904-664-8217. 904-664-8217. That's 904-664-8217.
Need cash for the holidays or to pay off credit cards right now? Loan Pronto's all-new Express Equity Line of Credit program is just what you need. Prosser here. You don't have to do a full home refi. You can tap a small portion of the equity you have and enjoy a super low rate. With Loan Pronto's Express Equity Credit Line, you can close in 7 to 10 days, and a $50,000 loan will only cost you around $300 a month. Use that money to pay off high-interest credit cards or consolidate other debt or even start a home improvement project. With Loan Pronto, you can access up to 95% of your home's equity, and 9 out of 10 homeowners won't even need an appraisal. Even if you did a total refi recently or just bought your home, you can tap the equity with this fast, easy program. Do it now before the holidays. Call Loan Pronto at 904-999-1508. 904-999-1508. You could use that extra cash for the holidays, and you can get it with Loan Pronto. Also visit loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval.
I'm Tom Coughlin, founder of the J Fund Foundation, helping local families tackle childhood cancer since 1996.
And I'm Dan Hicken, asking you to be there again for these kids on November 30th with 1010XL.
Thank you for supporting the J Fund.
Attention sports fans, your favorite sportsbook, BetUS.com, is back for our 28th year of NFL action. With the industry's biggest sign-up bonus of up to 200%, BetUS offers our members the chance to cash in on all of your favorite leagues, including the NFL, NBA, MLB, and more. We've also got hundreds of new casino games, including the coolest European slots, and our live dealers are waiting for you at the tables. Sign up at BetUS.com or call 1-800-79-BET-US and get into the action. Don't forget to mention promo code RADIO. BetUS, where the game begins.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On November 14th, 1993, the Dolphins beat the Eagles, and Don Shula becomes the coach with the most wins in NFL history with 325.
Find your why in your next career move at the First Coast YMCA. Everyone can get involved and make a difference in your community at the Y. And if you'd like to turn your passion into a fulfilling career, the Y is an equal opportunity employer and is now hiring youth program leaders, lifeguards, swim instructors, and more. Plus, Y staff enjoy benefits including free YMCA membership and free childcare while you work. Find your passion, find your why in a career at fcymca.org.
Hello, Jacksonville. This is Greg McGarity, President and CEO of Gator Bowl Sports. The TaxSlayer Gator Bowl game and events have been a Jacksonville staple for more than 75 years. We support more than 4,200 local youth annually through Gator Bowl charities. Gator Bowl Sports is a perfect way for local companies and individuals to get involved, to meet with you and talk about how you can join our team. If you'd like to learn more, contact us at 798-1700, 798-1700.
Into the Night with Rick Ballou will be live each and every Thursday from Mr. Chubby's Wings. Come join us from 6 to 8 on Thursdays for 2-for-1 pints and pitchers, $3 wines and wells, Mr. Chubby's Wings in Ponte Vedra.
The Northeast Florida Safety Council has been keeping Jacksonville safe for 80 years. I'm Carrie Kaufman, the EHS Operations Manager at the Safety Council. Join us December 15th at the Garden Club as we celebrate our anniversary and recognize our achievements in keeping our community safe and healthy. We provide safety services your organization needs to take the worry out of compliance. For more information, including how you can be a sponsor of our 80th celebration, visit nefsc.org.
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Yeah, I love it. ESPN thinks they're going to release the college football playoff latest installment of their rankings right at 9 o'clock. We got 5:21 to go. 56-52, Kentucky over Michigan State. So you know you have the under 4-minute media timeout. Plus both teams are each going to burn their timeouts. There's no way.
Free throws.
Right. And wouldn't it be kind of cool if...
A review.
Well, I was thinking, wouldn't it be... Now it's 56-55. Wouldn't it be kind of cool if it went to overtime? You know, and announced... I mean...
They'll never get announced.
Announce it at 10 o'clock at night. That's just that's so perfect for college football, though, isn't it? They just can't.
The big show.
They can't do anything right. You know, you feel for the product. You feel for those involved.
No one's in charge.
That's for sure.
So it's like ESPN just has to take the reins of being like, all right, we're the president of college football.
Well, somehow some money exchanged hands because they're not announcing this until after the game. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely. That's why it's just an ESPN thing, because the ESPN's like, hey, we're showing this game tonight. We're pushing this. It's not like the king of college football can step in and be like, hey, no. We decided this was a 7 p.m. every Tuesday thing. ESPN's like, this is our thing. We created it. We made it. We show the playoff. We created this dumb show, and we have a basketball game that we want ratings on.
Yeah.
We're going to put it after that. It's genius. They are the worldwide leader for a reason.
It's genius, but it would have been more genius if this game started at 5
well, no
and ended at 7:30. Yeah. Because, you know, I got news for you. I think a lot of people come home, they eat dinner, they put the kids to bed, they take care of the things that they got to do, and then they're ready to hit the sack. You know, I'm sure college football junkies may be like, all right, yeah, let's flip on the final few minutes of this game so we can get the rankings, or are they just going to go through with their regular life? Maybe they're binge watching something on Netflix, knowing that their phone is going to pop it out the second it happens.
Check it on Twitter. That's what everybody's going to do. But, like, when it comes to starting games early, they don't care about that. Like last night, halftime of the Monday night game, it was like 10 o'clock.
Mm.
Like, the second half doesn't start till like 10:15.
And they always say they want it for the West Coast audience.
Yeah.
But people in L.A. don't watch sports.
Exactly.
They don't watch them. I mean, maybe they do in Oregon, or maybe they do in the state of Washington or Arizona, but they don't in Los Angeles. Pretty
certainly not the Eagles versus Commanders.
I tell you what the worst deal is if you're on one of the ESPN networks, whether it's 2 or whatever.
Oh, and you have a game coming up.
Oh yeah,
and it goes over.
Oh yeah,
and you got to watch ESPN.
But it's the top of the hour
app like ESPN News too.
But you're like, my game's coming up in 5 minutes, and all of a sudden you look on the field and there's like 9 minutes and 6 seconds to go.
Like, no
and
way.
There's a guy on the field, and they're bringing a card out. you know what I mean?
Concussion or ACL.
Oh yeah,
dude. The whole first half is going to be on ESPN News.
Right, and
I hope you're ready for that.
And then you're like,
I don't have that channel. You're like, oh my god, I have to.
Rolling on the
computer.
field was inbounds. We're gonna go review this. Oh
but
yeah.
Then the worst is. So you're.
But some people don't have the ESPN News in some of that stuff.
Exactly. So you have to go online. But the worst is when you do flip over to ESPN News and your game's going on for like 45 minutes and you forget that you're on ESPN News and you're like, dang, this is a really long commercial break.
Oh, yeah.
And you realize like, oh, I just missed like 3 plays.
Oh, they flip back over.
Yeah.
Now, listen, I've been in a bar when that's happened.
Hell.
Okay.
Oh, excuse me, ma'am. My game really starts on ESPN, but for the next 15 minutes, it's actually on this channel, so I'm going to need you to do that. And then I'm going to have to come back. You're going to have to come back and change it for me. Like, they hate you.
You're never in a bar that's a slow day in that bar.
Yeah.
It's the busiest bar in no matter what town or city you're in.
Absolutely.
You get them to change it. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, you're right. It's like this extended break, and you're like, what's going on? Why is my phone telling me the game's on?
Yeah.
Then you have to find that bartender or the general manager, and can you please switch it back to the channel that it was on 15 minutes ago?
And they never have the remote themselves. They're always like, all right, I have to go talk to this guy in the back who apparently has the universal remote, and... do you happen to know the channel? It's like, I don't... It's hell, man.
Here's when it comes in, 80-43. It says, Ballou, why wouldn't they tip this game off right after the playoff show? I wasn't even aware that... Did they have a playoff show? Did they have a pre-playoff show?
No, that's
before
what
they
he's
announced
saying.
it?
They should have had the 9 p.m. show before
Exactly.
the game, but
no, but
they didn't.
I'll tell you why. It's exactly what you said. They're trying to get people to watch this game.
Mm-hmm. And if you put it beforehand, they'd be like, all right, I'm done.
I know there's big-time college basketball fans out there. I understand that. I get it. I don't think it resonates with our audience. I don't think it resonates with what's going on here in Jacksonville. And I'm not saying that in a negative way. Get to me in a month. Get to me after the first of the year, and it changes. Certainly on this show, we'll talk a great deal of college basketball once we're smack dab into the conference schedule. We're heading towards conference tournaments. We're heading towards March Madness. But I could care less about this game right here tonight. There's way, way too many things.
And from just
that are
checking
going
the
on.
box score, it's probably for the better that you don't care about FSU hoops right about now.
Oh, yeah, they're 0-3.
Yeah.
Yeah?
I was shocked when I saw that today.
Uh-huh. They got a lot of problems. They got some injuries.
Very early.
That big man they tried to get in is serving a 16-game suspension.
For what?
It was, they got him from another country. And something along the lines of he accepted some money to go to some event. I'm a little gray on the area. For the same reason that I just got done explaining. I'm just not interested. I'm just not interested enough in it right now. But
basically,
apparently he paid it.
Benefits.
Yeah, basically he repaid it, but it's still not enough for the NCAA. And he got slapped with 16 games.
I didn't even know the NCAA was still suspending people.
He's like a 7-footer, big guy. So that's pretty bizarre. 80-43 says it's like game day, after the 12 p.m. games. Yeah, okay. I got you. I'm with you. Would it make more sense? Sure. I'm sure the suits, I'm sure the big check guys, they sit down and there's a reason for this. Is there a major sponsor that is going to pay for this? It's now 9 o'clock. So, I mean, there's 3:15 to go. This thing is happening at 9:15 at the earliest.
Oh, yeah.
It's probably happening at 9:30.
And then they don't tell you the top 4 teams until the end of the
I know.
show.
They're going to make you wait. Yeah. and we got a 58-56 game. I mean, this very easily could go to overtime. I kind of, just for the sake of what's going on, I want OT tonight.
Yeah, double.
Yeah, college football really needs a major facelift. They do.
They need a leader.
They don't have one. They don't have a commissioner. I mean, you're being control. ESPN, and now when ESPN's going to take over the Southeastern Conference, I mean, it's got, 2 years left with CBS?
I think only a year.
And then it goes to ESPN. I mean, you have 2 teams. You have 2 conferences right now. It's Big Ten and SEC. And I should say it, SEC, Big Ten, because the SEC is ahead of the Big Ten. But the ACC, the Pac-12, and the Big 12, they've got zero clout. And when you lose Texas and Oklahoma to the SEC, and when you lose USC and UCLA to the Big Ten, the Big 12 and the Pac-12 are going to fall apart. You know, the ACC, I tell you what the ACC needs more than anything. The ACC needs Florida State and Miami to be what they once were. You can't get by with Clemson and then every once in a while insert, NC State, insert Wake Forest, insert this year North Carolina. I guess we could say last year Pitt. I don't know. It's not going to work like that. You need to bring back your heavies. You need Miami to be the beast of the Coastal. You need Va-Tech, who's 2-8? You need them to flex their muscles. Obviously, it feels like Florida State's on the come here. They need to get back. They need to start battling Clemson. And you know what? They've played them well the last couple of years. They've lost, and that's all that really matters, but they've been basically one-possession games. All right, let me take a break here. Let's do that. We got a lot to get into. Rayshawn Jenkins in the news. Interesting stuff. Big fan of Rayshawn. Apparently his feelings hurt at least somewhat. This whole all-pro, I think when I tweeted out earlier, I said Pro Bowl. That kind of goes back to my point on it. Never been a huge individual fan of awards in the NFL, and the reason for that for me is football is the ultimate team game. Now, I'm a longtime Heisman Trophy voter, and I love that, and I put a lot of time and effort into it. But Aaron Rodgers winning consecutive MVPs, to me, I'd rather be Tom Brady and go out and win a Super Bowl, all right? And that applies even for a team that's 3-7. Recognition is nice. But I asked you earlier on Twitter and got a lot of response on it. Do you care? Do you care that this team could have all pros, or if there was still a Pro Bowl, and I guess there is a Pro Bowl, but they're not actually going to play a game. They're going to play cornhole.
You get the recognition for being an all-star without playing in the game.
They're going to play Madden.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows what they're going to do?
Tiddlywinks.
Does it matter to you? Seriously, as a fan. I mean, is that it? See, I don't know the answer to that question. It really doesn't to me. But it may to a lot of people that you want to walk around here and say Travis Etienne was an all-pro. And, Tyson Campbell. Those would be the 2 I'd vote for. If they ask, and I guess I can log on and vote.
Yes,
but
many times.
Yeah, if I'm voting for anyone on this football team, far and away, number 1 for me is Tyson Campbell. Patrick Mahomes didn't even throw the ball to his side of the field the other night. Didn't even throw the football. He's absolutely number 1 for me. Number 2 would probably be Etienne, and I think the only drawback there is if you look at his total touches, it's still down compared to some other backs around the league. Anyway, let's talk about this. Rayshawn Jenkins threw his name into the hat today, caused a little bit of friction, and is the fire been put out? I don't know. We'll discuss on the other side.
First of all, congratulations on the show.
Join the 1010XL Podcast Network.
How do you like being in a real studio?
Now you can find all your favorite 1010XL podcasts in your platform of choice.
So I'm here with Danny Van Sickle, Director of the Electrical Training Alliance. Danny, tell me about your program.
Hey, Rick, we're a 5-year electrical apprenticeship. Our students start out making over $30,000 a year and right now graduate making over $80,000 a year, including benefits. There is no tuition and no student debt. You just have to apply and get accepted.
Did you say no tuition and no student debt?
You heard that right, Rick. Once you're accepted into the program, your only costs are the books and the course fees, around $700 a year.
Wow, that sounds like an amazing opportunity. How can I learn more?
Just go to etajax.org and you can apply there.
Football season is all about the good times surrounding the big ball game. So make sure you put your local dailies in the GPS, and when you get there, stock up on some cold Bud Light and tailgate like a champ with Bud Light and Buds. Game day begins at your local dailies.
I know you may have concerns right now about selling your home. The Northeast Association of Realtors reporting home sales are down 20% from this time last year. But you know what? Rates are holding. If you have the right agent, you can sell your home, and you can sell it at the cost that you want to. But those agents are Chad and Sandy Real Estate, and you need to check them out at chadandsandy.com or call them in their office at 414-6200 because they guarantee offers on your home within 72 hours or they'll sell it for free. This matters. Look, whether you need a bigger home for your office or you just have a growing family, the time is right for you to leave now, even if you don't know that it is. In fact, Jeff and Robin were still in a starter home, but their daughter was now a teenager. They needed more space. They heard Chad and Sandy on the radio, and they called. Chad sold their home for full asking price in 3 days. Often they'll get more than your asking price. Call the only agents I trust and recommend and get multiple offers in 3 days or sold free. Go to chadandsandy.com.
Be confident you're in control of your banking with free digital tools, fewer fees, and a team that's ready to help. Add an account at justbeyourself.com. Community First Credit Union, federally insured by NCUA.
Tom Casey here with Griffin Service. As I look around Jacksonville, I see plumbing that can be held together better by duct tape, electrical work that can double as a shock collar, and AC work I know costs an arm and a leg on your utility bill. Save $1 today, but it costs you $10 down the road. At Griffin, we don't think you want or maybe even know you're hiring El Cheapo and cut rate work. So, if you need plumbing, AC, or electrical help, and you want it done right, call
GriffinService.com
and know you're getting the best.
The flagship station of the Jaguars, WJXL-FM, Jacksonville Beach.
The Marshall Tucker Band, the 50th Anniversary Tour, Friday, November 18th, the Thrasher Horn Center. The Marshall Tucker Band. They take the highway celebrating 5 decades. Tickets on sale now at thcenter.org. The Marshall Tucker Band, the 50th Anniversary Tour.
Football, family, and tradition.
After the game, join Hacker and Andrew Gibson.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, Friday Night Lights.
Presented by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing and Septic Services on 1010XL.
Are you sick and tired of living with constant pain in your knees and back? You know, joint pain doesn't just keep you from doing things that you love. It affects your job, relationships, even simple things like getting dressed. Leon Searcy. It's time to call QC Kinetics. QC Kinetics uses advanced regenerative medicine to restore and repair damaged tissues, giving you new life. Hips, shoulders, elbows. They can all be treated with natural biologics from your own body. Powerful healing agents, highly concentrated. If you're tired of steroid shots that don't work, or if you're trying to avoid surgery, call QC Kinetics now to schedule your free consultation. Learn about these exciting new cutting-edge treatments for pain caused by arthritis or injury. No drugs, no pain meds, no downtime. This is an all-natural treatment that can get you lasting relief. People here are raving about the results. Call now. Appointments are available for this coming week. Call QC Kinetics 904-274-5522 for locations in Mandarin and Ponte Vedra. 904-274-5522.
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
course, the way I always do. How was I to know she was with the Russians too?
Who needs to put Warren Zevon in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame when you can put in Dolly Parton?
I knew you. You turned me on to this album.
Oh, it's one of the great albums ever written.
I have listened to it a few times now in the last couple weeks.
He was crazy.
Yeah.
The late Warren Zevon.
Very eccentric.
And he was a pretty good, lyricist as well. You look at some of his words to his songs, the classic sex, drugs, rock and roll, even though he mentioned he takes home the waitress, as he does all the time. So, anyway. Great LP back in the mid-'70s. Warren Zevon. They just showed it. Wait a minute. They just showed a graphic of Duke in Kansas that's coming up next.
No way.
And they're standing around waiting to, run out of the tunnel. Yeah.
Oh, it's at the same arena.
Let me see.
Oh, so maybe, is it on a different channel?
At 9:30 tonight will be Duke in Kansas. It's all part of the State Farm Championship Classic that is going on. It's now 9:11. So they're going to have about 45 seconds to make the college football playoff rankings in between games. And I'm saying they're going to go through teams number 25 through 18, and then they're going to hold over the top 18 teams until halftime of that Duke-Kansas game. Boy, it's going to be...
Oh, my God. Would you... You know what? You should be a TV executive for that. That's exactly what they're going to do.
Are you sure?
I don't know. That just sounds genius.
It's going to be weird with no Coach K on the sideline this year. It really is.
That's John Shire?
That's a big blow. Yeah, we went through it with North Carolina a couple of years ago. Heck, I saw it with Dean Smith. And how come I can't even think of his name right now? Williams, the head coach of North Carolina.
Roy
Williams, who nearly won it at Kansas. I'll never forget that interview.
When the day before he took the job.
Was that the year that Hakeem Warwick blocked the shot? It was a baseline tray. I don't know if it was Carmelo, but Syracuse won it. And then Bonnie Bernstein asked him a question, and he didn't like. Oh yeah, she asked him about leaving.
Yeah, to North Carolina. He's like, no.
No, he's like, instead of getting on her, he totally the way he looked at Bonnie Bernstein was like, you are a woman sideline reporter. There's no way you were clever enough to know that question. It came from the truck. It can't. Your producer got in your ear and told you to ask. Do you have it?
Yeah.
Let's play it.
Understandably, you didn't want to address this issue during the week, but many people out there with the game over want to know what your level of interest is in the North Carolina job, Coach.
Bonnie, I could give a flip about what those people want. As a journalist, you have to ask that question. I understand that, but as a human being, that's all those people that want that answer to know right now, they're not very sensitive.
If they offer you the job, though, would you be willing to take it?
I haven't thought about that for 1 second. And the guy in your ear that told you have to ask that question, as a journalist, that's fine. But as a human being, that's not very nice because it's not very sensitive. And I got to think that in tough times that people should be more sensitive. I could give about North Carolina right now. I've got 13 kids in that locker room that I love.
He's gone the next day.
Yeah, exactly.
I love that. He just told. I mean,
and he
I love the fact that
her morality.
Well, he talks about sensitivity twice, but he totally crushes her as a journalist by saying, "You got someone in your ear in the truck that's saying, ask Roy if he's going to take the job. Ask Williams if he's going to take the job."
You're being a good journalist, but you're being a terrible person.
Yeah, that was cowardly.
I love that.
I thought you were going to play the beginning, and I was like, man, you're going to make me eat my words. I know he said what he did say. I'm glad he played the rest of the clip. Yeah, that was embarrassing.
2003.
Yep.
They lost to Syracuse. You're right.
Mm-hmm. Hakeem Warwick had those arms like Kevin McHale.
Oh my God.
He didn't have to bend over to tie his shoes.
That
and he got a hand on the ball.
Yeah. Those guys were long, man.
Who were the guards in that team? You had the white guy, Gary something. You had 3 great guards. One of them, I think, got kicked off the team by Jim Boeheim. Jerry McNamara was one, right?
There you go.
Hakeem Warwick, Carmelo Anthony.
Josh Pace.
No, that's not what I'm thinking of. They had 2 other guards. One of them might have got kicked off the team. He did something wrong. If you say his name, I'll remember it. He was a great shooter. He couldn't stay
Matt
in line.
Gorman, Jeremy McNo.
Anyway.
Keith Dwaney?
Keith Dwaney, maybe that was it.
Josh Pace, Jerry McNamara, Hakeem Warwick.
Give me another name.
Matt Gorman, Carmelo, Billy Edelin.
That was it. Billy Edelin. Billy Edelin. Yep. That was the guy. And that was a great win for Syracuse. Because I remember, Syracuse lost in 87 when Keith Smart hit the baseline jumper for Indiana. And, I began, because you're heading to Boston this weekend, and I told you how Boston could care less about college football. They would get into it when the season was right. The Big East tournament in basketball, that was legit.
Used to love it.
That was absolutely legit. Okay? And when you had Syracuse playing Georgetown on a Saturday night at the Madison Square Garden, that was one of the greatest things that you could have. It would be kind of reminiscent to bringing like the Players' Championship here to Jacksonville once a year. That was huge. Even though it was in New York, still the entire city was pretty much captivated by that.
Loved it.
Very
St.
similar
John's games.
Oh yeah, when they had Chris Mullin.
Love that tournament, man. The classic UConn games. UConn, they went to overtime every single game in the history of the Big East tournament, I feel like. Yep. So many different runs for them. The early 2000s run, the late Kemba Walker run. The Kemba Walker Big East tournament run with UConn was epic. Like, they weren't even going to get to the tournament. They ended up winning that and then winning the tournament.
But I remember Rick Pitino at Providence, where he had Billy Donovan as guard. I remember Villanova, the year that they shot like 80% to beat Georgetown, the title game, where you had Dwayne McClain and Gary McClain and
no shot clock.
Harold Presley. Oh, absolutely. You mentioned St. John's. They had a great run. BC at times would have a great run. Pitt. That's that whole send it in, Jerome. And Onions. That came right there with Pitt when Pitt was totally legit. How about Maryland?
Maryland used to be really good. They won a national title in the early 2000s. They were in the Big East. No, they were in the AC.
Yeah, they were in the ACC.
No, they were in the Big East at the time.
Why do I think they were
in the ACC.
Yeah, ACC, that's right.
By the way, that college basketball game is in overtime.
This is so perfect. I mean, this is the greatest. It is in overtime. All right, we need to take a break. We're going to do overtime with it. Is Hacker on location tonight, too?
No, but I haven't seen him. He's usually in by now.
All right. Well, he's going to get it. Hacker's going to be on the air at 11:30 tonight, and that's when they're going to announce the latest installment of the college football playoff rankings. All right, coming back, more on this. Let's also spend a minute here on the Rayshon Jenkins story.
Speed kills.
He was shot out of a cannon.
But what kills speed?
Oh, I'm hurt.
That nagging injury.
Listen for the personal injury attorneys Farah and Farah Injury Update on 1010XL. Protecting you and your family since 1979.
Jacksonville.
Hey, Jacksonville, I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, green for life.
I'm Taylor Rose with our Remedy Staffing Westside office off of Normandy Boulevard. We are helping great people find great jobs. Remedy has helped some of the best employers in Jacksonville find talented job seekers like you for over 25 years. Our current job openings range from entry-level distribution center pickers to equipment operators. Apply today at remedygoodjobs.com. Don't wait. Apply at remedygoodjobs.com now.
The Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute is now offering online scheduling for new patient appointments for all of their physicians. Simply schedule your appointment on your cell phone, tablet, or desktop. JOI is the first orthopedic practice in North Florida to offer this feature to patients. To schedule your appointment online, visit joi.net and click on the button at the top of the page. If you'll be using insurance, be sure and have your information handy. JOI, where the pros go.
Need cash for the holidays or to pay off credit cards right now? Loan Pronto's all-new Express Equity Line of Credit program is just what you need. Prosser here. You don't have to do a full home refi. You can tap a small portion of the equity you have and enjoy a super low rate. With Loan Pronto's Express Equity Credit Line, you can close in 7 to 10 days, and a $50,000 loan will only cost you around $300 a month. Use that money to pay off high-interest credit cards or consolidate other debt or even start a home improvement project. With Loan Pronto, you can access up to 95% of your home's equity, and 9 out of 10 homeowners won't even need an appraisal. Even if you did a total refi recently or just bought your home, you can tap the equity with this fast, easy program. Do it now before the holidays. Call Loan Pronto at 904-999-1508. 904-999-1508. You could use that extra cash for the holidays, and you can get it with Loan Pronto. Also visit loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval.
Media mogul Mia O'Brien here, where I'm heard on XL Primetime during the week and on Helmets and Heels Tuesday nights. And now, you can catch me on the Kickoff Show, Sunday mornings, 5 hours before the Big Cats play. All Things Mia is driven by Arlington Toyota.
Get Gators play-by-play on 1010XL.
Gators!
Florida Gators basketball on 1010XL is brought to you by Renewal by Anderson, the official window and door replacement partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
Chump, chump, chump!
On the home of the Florida Gators.
Go Gators!
1010XL.
Men suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, regardless of age or past medical history, you'll see instant results on your first visit at Prime Men's Medical Center. And for unlimited time, your consultation and first treatment are totally free. Call now 904-664-8217.
Here's your 1010XL First Coast Community Calendar.
The Orrin Margle Foundation annual Big O Memorial Golf Tournament benefiting Baptist MD Anderson Cancer Center is Monday, November 21st at San Jose Country Club. Register at OrinMargleFoundation.org.
There's a critical need for all blood types. Please consider donating at a local blood donation center.
If you know someone with cancer and no insurance, call the U.S. Uninsured Helpline at 800-234-1317.
The Hometown for Heroes Home Buyers Program helps you get your down payment and closing costs paid. Call to learn more. 574-7180.
The Creeks Athletic Association in St. Johns County offers a variety of sports for children 5 to 18. Learn how to get your child involved at caaleague.org.
If you're involved in a community event and you'd like us to help spread the word, find out how at 1010XL.com.
Run or walk at Mackenzie's Run, Saturday, November 19th to create great futures. Join Boys and Girls Clubs of Northeast Florida for a 5K and 1 mile fun run through the beautiful stadium course at TPC Sawgrass. Register at mackenziesrun.org.
Find your why in a rewarding career at the First Coast YMCA. Did you know the Y runs the before and after school programs at every public elementary school in Clay County? It's true, and we can only open up new spots for students when we have enough staff. And that means the Y needs you. The Y is an equal opportunity employer, and we're hiring youth program leaders, lifeguards, instructors, and much more. Visit your local Y for more information. Find your passion, find your why, and a career at fcymca.org.
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-7